and made deal with Britain. Say, please, we shall be vassal. We have a structure. Please, leave us. We will serve you. We become your slaves. But allow us be. We are colonizers like you. Are you getting it? Because this Sokoto empire, this Sokoto Caliphate you are calling today, Sokoto, is a colonial seat. Sultan of Sokoto is sitting on a colonial seat. And I am telling the northern Nigerians, the Nupe, the Bokos, or name them, as long as Sultan of Sokoto, that seat continues. It is a colonial seat. There is nothing, the northern people, the northern indigenous people will remain subjugates to the caliphate. That is what the Sokoto Caliphate negotiated with Britain. Britain spared them, spared their structure, that structure. That structure they spared. Britain understand that we are going to use these people tomorrow in the Nigeria they are trying to create. So they left the structure, only be managing them. That is from there today. You see the Sokoto you are calling today, the Sultan of Sokoto, that is the co-chair of the Nigerian monarchy or the Nigerian monarchs today. So let me tell you something. The Sokoto Caliphate has been trying to take what Britain gave to them. And that is why you are seeing you that is suffering the genocide. You indigenous people, you Christians, you Nigerian Christians that are suffering, that are bearing the brunt, that are victims of their terrorism. For you, it doesn't make sense to you. For you, Nigeria has failed. No. But for the Sokoto Caliphate, it is a victory. They are trying to take what Britain gave to them through the negotiation prior to 1960. That is why no matter the killings in Nigeria by terrorists, you don't see Britain talk. They don't cough. You don't see them. Because that is what Britain facilitated. Britain has been helping them, laundering even the image of the Sokoto Caliphate. But let me tell you, do not be surprised that the Prime Minister of United Kingdom will be telling Trump that, look, no, this is not about any genocide. Internally, he will be trying to convince Trump that, no, don't go that way. We know what is happening. It is our program. Leave it for us. Leave it for us. Remember the Monroe Doctrine of, is it 17th century or 18th century? Remember, no, 18th century. Remember the Monroe Doctrine, that this side is for us, the Europeans, so leave them for us. Britain knew, they know, not knew, they know exactly what is happening in Nigeria. They know. Ask any one of us that cares to know, please, if you see a British high-ranking official in politics, if you near Kemi Badenoch, ask them, ask her, is the now head of British Labour Party. Ask her, what are those terms of negotiation prior to Nigerian independence? Their negotiation, the British negotiations with the Sokoto Caliphate, which they kept secret. Ask her, maybe she knows. This is the reason why Britain is not coughing. Since how many decades? We are murdered. In a day, hundreds of people a village will be wiped out. Britain don't cough. No, they don't talk because they know what is happening. It is their agreement with the Sokoto Caliphate. As long as the Sultan of Sokoto is still there, as long as this Sokoto you are seeing is still called the Sokoto Caliphate, because they maintained it. Remember, Ottoman Dan Fodio established this Sokoto Caliphate when he started the war 1804 to 1808. He established it 1808. And Sokoto Caliphate, entered the borders were even more than Niger, going even to Sudan, down to parts of Burkina Faso today. But the colonial Europeans, Germans, French, and English, they destroyed the part of it. Whereas in Nigeria, the headquarters, Britain retained that caliphate because they knew that they are going to use them tomorrow. And that tomorrow is what is happening today. I want Nigerians to understand. I want our people to understand what is happening to them. That it is not, you are a cry of, they are killing us. It is what has been programmed right from beginning. That is why we, people called, I was in a space where they are hearing, they call the IPOB miscreants. Those people today, they are showering praises on IPOB. These are the people that I listened to yesterday. I was shocked. And I told them that, look, we are professionals in different fields of life all over the world. You don't know what you are ignorant. I told them in their face that you guys are ignorant. You don't know what you are doing. People that come to save you, you are calling miscreants. So, I want people to understand what is happening to them. Remember, Arrow Confederacy, Britain saw it as a threat because Britain can never operate in a fair, completely fair system for competition. They can never compete on a fair ground. Never. It's impossible. They will take it. They want to take it all. If they compete with Biafrans, we outmaneuver them. They recognize that. That is why they are making sure that we don't rise up. I am telling you honest. Instead, they tap from us individually. They called us, if they're not gong, we need 100,000 people from Africa. That 100,000 people, they will like more than 50,000 from Biafra land in order to come to England to work for them. They love it because they know their experience, even during the slavery, transatlantic slavery, gave them experience that these people are people that they can work, they can improve, build your economy. If you go to compete with them, your ass will be grass. You don't know how they do. So for Britain, it is destruction. Destroy Biafrans. Destroy them. Do not allow them to see the light of the day. That is their policy. That is why you had the policy of the then Governor General or the then Prime Minister of UK during the Nigerian genocidal war against Biafra, Harold Wilson, that even the corpses of thousands or millions of Biafran children will never swing or make Britain to change their policy towards Biafra. That is a heavy statement. We have all these things in our archives. We have them. Because Britain, they know that they can never forget about their being world power. On a fair competitive ground, Britain tried it with Arrow Confederacy. It didn't work. Now, they say bring them, destroy them. That is why they destroyed Arrow Confederacy. When they went to Yoruba land, They saw that Oyo Empire, Yoruba are already destroying themselves. So they just wait until Odara they finished being weak, and Britain went and harvested them, reorganized them, put the one they wanted. They became powerless. They went to the Sokoto Caliphate. They now saw they retained the structure of Sokoto because they know that they cannot do anything, that they are manipulable. They could be used against Biafrans. Look at these three different example or different historical facts. Look at them. Just go, I put it just in a nutshell summary. Just look at them. This is what is playing out today. Now, the Sokoto Caliphate, they had the backing of Britain. That is why, despite all the killings, do you remember the 2015 election, presidential election, where Buhari threatened that the blood of baboons and monkeys will flow if he didn't get power? That this and that. People, how many youth couples were killed in the north? Igbo men and women were massacred during that election. Remember, it was Catriona Leong that came and announced that there is no problem, although just few individuals suffered casualties in this election. But overall, everything is okay. That is how they behave. So what is happening in Nigeria? It is British programmed. Go and ask Britain. They know what is happening. Have you ever had Britain make any statement in order to stop what is happening? Britain now, even in governorship election in Nigeria, they will come and tell you, say, British High Commission, we tell Nigerians, look, if any governor that did not win, you vex, go to court. Britain. And you say Nigeria is sovereign? No, I want to destroy that fact that Nigeria is sovereign. If Nigeria is sovereign, they should have electricity, central electricity. They don't have. They have darkness. Are you getting me? If Nigeria is sovereign, their borders will not be porous, for goodness sake. So people that are talking about sovereignty, you are dishonest to yourself. How many times did Nigerians cry? Nigerians cry that, and they say, it is foreigners that are coming to kill Nigerians. We overwhelmed. Rufai said, even I went out to pay foreigners to stop killing Nigerians. And you are talking of sovereignty, you hypocrites. You black monkeys and baboon hypocrites. Many Yorubas now, money has been dispersed for them, or to them, to go online and talk, launder the image. You are talking about invasion of Nigeria. So you prefer the terrorists to kill everybody than Donald Trump sending military to destroy the terrorists? Is that what you're tell me what you're talking? Nigerian hypocrites. Nigerians that do not want good things for them. When I see some of all this that the Jews, Yoruba that Jew, now your eyes are now open about the so-called pastors. Pastors, that the Yoruba pastors, they are now showing their colors. One of them is this is senior pastor of Guiding Light Assembly, Pastor Wale Adefarisi. You will see useless, foolish Igbo people in his church contributing. He's showing them a way to see God. Here, I don't know the worst word I will use on this our people in order to wake them. He says killing of Christians is nothing new. Pastor Adefarasi dismisses United States genocide claims in Nigeria. They massacre every time they massacre Christians in Plateau. They bury them in mass graves. In Benue, the same thing. Even in Enugu, the same thing. Fulani terrorists, they are on the rampage. Their useless argument is, oh no, not only Christians are killed. Okay, now, you know, I don't know. Let me try whether I can bring out this man that I played his clip the other day. Let me see whether I can still see him. He made the right analysis. I know he's an indigenous Hausa from the north. He said something. He said, if you know, everybody was being killed, both the Christians and Muslims, why didn't Muslims lobby go and complain? Why? Why were they bearing the brunt? No. Somebody should tell me. Why were they bearing the brunt quietly? Because it is their fellow Muslims killing them. So when Christians go and complain and the help is coming, everybody say, no, it is everybody being killed. So therefore, don't intervene. Leave the killing to continue. Leave it like that. Is that what you mean? No. I ask useless, wicked, dishonest Nigerians. Yes, I've seen it. Let me play it a bit because I have other tapes to play. Please listen. I want you to listen. I played it the other day, but listen again, please, because it gets to my nerve.
Designated Nigeria as a country of particular such genocide. So an action is going to be taken against them.
If all these official weapons, Nigerian weapons, are finding their way to the terrorists, and these terrorists are using it to kill Nigerians, committing genocides in Christian communities, what then should you think? What is the conclusion? Is Nigerian government not complicit? No, tell me. Why then should people be angry that Trump spoke up and wants to take action? Why? We want you, we pinpoint you to logic for you to think, if you want or if you care to use your brain. But I've seen that many people, many Yorubas today, they have lost it. They are the epitome of tribal bigotry. I am saying it on air. When I read some things or when I hear them speak in this time around, I want to vomit because a Yoruba man is in power. This is where they differ from us. An Igbo man will see something bad. It doesn't matter his brother. You say, no, brother, no. Even if he's my brother in Joba, no. No, I will not support him. Things are bad. Nigeria is trying to corrupt our DNA. I am telling you. So that even we will start defending criminality in our land in the name of, oh, it is our brother. But we will never accept it. We are pure people. We are pure. Nigeria they are trying to use Nigeria in order to destroy our purity of thought. Continue listening.
Of concern with that designation is that the President of the United States, Donald Trump, is not just standing on the CPC designation. He
You know, just like, let me add to what I said. You know, if it's an Igbo president, for example, and this thing is happening, it is even many Igbos that will even go against him, say, yes, Trump, let him come. This man is not doing anything. He has been compromised by the Fulani. And when we exhibit this purity of character, the same other people, Yorubas and the Fulani, they will say, Igbos hate themselves. Look at, they are even fighting their brother. Do you see one of the things they are using against us? Because we hate evil. But because of the devilish mindset they have, they defend the evil because it is their brother. But they are, they are patriotic. Oh God. They are not ethnic bigots, no. You know, a pot telling charcoal that you are black is very funny.
is also requesting that the House Appropriation Committee chairman and some of the committee responsible, like Tom Riley, to sit down and come back and report to him. And he claims that he will not stand idle by to see fellow Christians are being killed in Nigeria. Most possibly, there is a program or a plan for the boots to be on the ground in order to help prevent the genocide. Most possibly, this is also one of the factors that they are likely going to consider. It means that the general failure of Nigerian leadership may lead to the US boots on the ground in Nigerian soil. And this is very, very damaging to this country. So it means that there is a general vote of no confidence on the current leadership system of the country. They believe that there is a general failure of leadership to provide security of life and property, and that they must do something extra to be able to help in provision of this protection for the life and property of some of the citizens in Nigeria that they're concerned about, especially the Christians. And I believe that's what it's trying to do. So here is what I want to say. The Muslims in this country should not see this as a direct attack against
Listen.
them. Rather, it's a direct attack against the militant terrorist organization.
Now, if people are of goodwill and conscience, they shouldn't see this as an attack against Nigeria. You are not able to contain the terrorists. Now, somebody said, okay, as you are not able, because it is what the Nigerian military hierarchy has been going on saying, that, oh, we're overwhelmed, defend yourself. These people, we don't have enough manpower. We cannot this and that. Giving excuses. Now, Donald Trump said, okay, as you cannot do it, I am going to come and kill all the terrorists. Now all hell break loose. No, don't come. Why should you come? The sovereignty of Nigeria. Oh, is a sovereign country. Oh, a sovereign country that cannot defend the citizens. Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you are telling me? We should continue suffering. People will continue dying avoidable deaths. Genocides will continue just for you to claim that you have sovereignty. That sovereignty, my foot. I say, that sovereignty, my foot.
So, and there should be no issue of anger pointed towards some Christian population simply because of this is happening, but rather there should be a general consensus and understanding between the citizens of Nigeria so that we should all understand that there is a failure of leadership in the country, especially the political leadership and the security leadership to provide the necessary protection.
The failure of the leadership is voluntary. It is voluntary. It is the caliphate, this Fulani caliphate project and agenda that is championing this failure. It is something voluntary. They are doing it, they love it. when you listen to Sheikh Gumi, you understand that no, this is their agenda. For them, after they will inside them, they say, nah, it is going, the plan is going. Let us continue pushing. He will come out and do press conference. You see, these people you call terrorists, they are not. Don't blame them for what is happening. Blame the Nigerian government because he continued defending them, talking rubbish, giving excuses for terrorists to continue increasing.
That is required for a peaceful and prosperous society. And that is what led us to this problem. So the problem should be viewed from the lens of being generic, not from the lens of being religious division that will lead to religious division between the Christians and the Muslims. And do not forget, the only interest group that went to the United States to present in the US Congress this concern are the Christian population.
This is where I want to hitch. The only interest group that wants to complain is the Christian community, championed by Biafrans, IPOB. Are you getting it? Because if other people, like the Muslims, say, okay, they are being killed, why don't they complain? No. Tell me now. Why then should their killing be used as a leverage? Say, all of them are being killed, both the Christians and Muslims. Now let us leave it like that. Trump has no right. No, he said he wants to come to the aid of those that complains to him. Why didn't the fellow Muslims go and complain? Say they are killing us. They said no. It is part of the collateral damage for the jihadism. So it is our thing. Don't complain. After all, the terrorist groups that came, it is still them, the Muslim indigenous population, non-Fulani, that accommodate them. Example is Lukrawa. I read how they say Lukrawa existed. I'm talking of Lukrawa. The population, the Muslim indigenous community, accommodated them, gave them whatever they want, gave them food, accommodated them in their houses, in their mosques, until they monitor, they gain ground. They told them that no, though we are Islamic fighters, but we don't target you. We are here to protect you. So they accommodated them. When they got ground, they started unleashing mayhem against them, against those indigenous non-Fulani Muslims that accommodated them. Do you see that? That is it. Why did they accommodate terrorists in the first place? It is because they use religious sentiments. The Fulani terrorists, they make use of religious sentiments. Oh, we are Muslims. Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. And they enter. Haribata. They enter. Once they enter, they get ground, they monitor, they know everything now, they unleash mayhem. They pursue you. They don't care. As long as you are not Fulani, they kill all of you and take over your land. That is how they behave. So why don't they report? That is a common sensical question. And that is the point this man is making. He's a Muslim, Adamu. He said, why didn't the Muslims that are suffering, why didn't they also call the international community to come to their aid? As the Christians, we are lamenting, lobbying, the IPOB firing. Why did they keep quiet? Because they are vindictive. That, after all, it is their... Sheikh Gumi said, all those Fulani terrorists are their freedom fighters. Do you see that? So, why will you blame Trump? Why will you now all of a sudden start invoking sovereignty of Nigeria? Sovereignty, my foot.
Possibly, if there is a Muslim population's delegation that also found their way to the Congress and expressed concern about the genocidal killings that takes place against Muslim population in Nigeria by the same terrorists, maybe that designation will have also happened.
will also have
So we
happened.
shouldn't
Yes.
like target.
Are you seeing it? What he said. Had it been the Muslim population also went to the American parliament and complained, continue lobbying, maybe Trump would have also taken action, say no, don't kill. There is Muslim genocide going on, so I need to protect them. But because there are Fulani terrorists, land grabbers being brought from outside Nigeria, from all over Africa into Nigeria to grab lands. Now, when they come, they use Islamic sentiments. Sultan of Sokoto know what I'm saying more than anybody. He knows. He is the number one sponsor of what is happening. Sultan of Sokoto. As long as that throne of colonialism remains, because that Sokoto Caliphate is a colonial siege. It should be destroyed. It should be pursued as British colonialism was sent off Nigeria. That is how Sokoto's caliphate should be destroyed. But as long as Sultan of Sokoto is still on seat, no, forget it. Nigerians, so forget it. They are in charge as the colonial masters. Are you getting it?
It as one religion trying to confront the other, or Christians are trying to confront the Muslims in Nigeria. No, we should see it as the citizens that are supposed to be protected by the security and the leadership of the state that has failed, and that is why the US is trying to do that. And the US is likely doing that because only the Christian population went and reported the issue, to the Congress. Should the Muslim also go and report, they may likely be designated. So this should not instigate any religious differences in Nigeria.
Do you see it now? I played this the other day, and I am replaying it today for you to understand. So you see some of all these bigots, mostly the Yoruba, they are trying to protect their man, their brother is in power. So whatever you're saying, the Igbos, they are trying to remove our man from power. They disregard the lives that are being lost. They disregard the children that are orphaned by these terrorists. They disregard Christian communities that are wiped out in Benue, Plateau. They disregard Christian woman beheaded. They disregard Deborah Samuel that was burnt alive by a mob. The woman that videoed the whole thing was arrested by the governor. I think he's still in jail. Whereas the people that committed that heinous, very primitive, heinous crime, they were all released and even compensated. This is the Nigeria sovereignty that you want. I say that sovereignty, my foot. You see the Sultan of Sokoto, that seat, that throne. We must make sure that we highlight that throne to the whole world. It is a colonial throne that is still in existence. He should be removed the same way. I mean, that throne should be removed the same way the British flag was removed. What do they call it? King Jack, I don't know, was removed from Nigeria. Otherwise, the northern Nigeria will still be under him, under the Sokoto Caliphate, and they continue expanding down south. That is it. Now, I want you to listen to Daniel Buala, the Foka man. You know, Wanza Kurunko, they call Kane. That is Daniel Buala. Daniel Buala now is on the forefront. Yeah, always the same thing. He's a Christian from Borno State, born in Borno, according to what I saw on him. And he's now going helter skelter. He's championing the whole thing now, the whole propaganda, Nigeria propaganda. When they finish using him, by that time he started regretting. Akbagoya. Maybe they will even kill him. Look at how cheap, very cheap they are. Very, very cheap they look. It's just like Soludo statement. One kako. Look at them. What matters to him is his to win the election. I think on 12th. That is his all he doesn't care again. Or now Koeri. Now Koeri. That those that are committing crime in Anambra State is they bear Christian names. Where 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 the world is talking something very serious and pertinent. Honorable criminals in Southeast Forest killing people, bear Christian names. It says Anambra governor. Salute. Sometimes in the Igbo politicians, how they have made themselves irrelevant. Akụkọ ha dịzị ka akụkọ ụmụ anụ ọhịa, ọ na-akọ ọzọ, ọ na-akọ ọzọ. Why not keep quiet? Must you talk? Or at least to so that your masters, your Fulani Caliphate masters will be happy with you. Don't worry, Soludo will remember you. I will remember you. Don't worry. Let me continue what I'm saying. Now, I will play this clip. Daniel Bawala. I will listen to him.
The solution are not the problem. And, he's saying, but we as a country, we try to be responsible enough to focus on the solution and not the problem.
What solution? This is Daniel Bawala on Russia Today, Russia Television. He said, we as a responsible government, which responsible you are. When citizens are murdered, you have refugee camps in Nigeria that contains millions of Nigerians, and you say that you are not at war. People are talking of sovereignty. There are, Nigerian refugees in Niger Republic, in Benin Republic, even in Cameroon, and you are not ashamed. You are invoking a sovereignty. Which kind of sovereign country you are? Helicopters and aeroplanes are moving back and forth into Nigeria, supplying weapons to these Fulani terrorists, and you don't know them. The Fulani terrorist bandits, they are moving with thousands of motorcycles every day on Nigerian roads. The Nigerian military don't see them, and you say you are sovereign, for goodness sake. Shame unto anybody, any Nigerian, shame unto you defending Nigeria. You should be ashamed of yourself. Not only you, your generations should be ashamed of you today. I'm telling you. You are responsible. Which kind of responsibility you are claiming?
And our point is this. There have been killings in Nigeria because of the exceptional situation that we find ourselves.
What is the exceptional situation, please? He is talking about solution, and he don't want to explain what exceptional situation a country should be, and you cannot get out of it. You cannot find solution to it. The Nigerian government always keep, they give order to soldiers not to pursue the terrorists. It is order from above. Listen to it. Listen. I played it the other day. Listen to it again. I have many of them, but listen to this one.
No, thank you.
These are Nigerian soldiers. in the war front against terrorists. Quagmire like this, hijacked by the Sokoto Caliphate. You see that Sokoto Caliphate? It must be destroyed. It must be destroyed, honestly. The same way Union Jack was expelled from Nigeria in the flag independence of Nigeria. That is, for Nigerians to even have independence, Sokoto throne, that Sultan of Sokoto throne should be abolished. Because it you know, it maintains the presence of the Sokoto Caliphate. It represents the Sokoto Caliphate being in charge of them. Go and study about the Sokoto Caliphate. It was formed from the War of Ottoman Danfodio 1804 to 1808. It was formed 1808, established, and it's still going on in Nigeria. And it is that Sokoto Caliphate that they want to, to caliphate everybody in Nigeria, including the South. Dr. Bada Mailafia warned the Southerners, both the Southeast and the Southwest, that is the East and West, that they are coming. You see, these Fulani terrorists, once they have stronghold in the Middle Belt, they will launch. They don't stop until they reach the ocean. So don't feel that you are safe. No, don't feel that you are safe. These are things that IPOB saw and started shouting and working hard to stop it. But idiots are calling IPOB names, calling us miscreants. You see those that are calling us miscreants, tomorrow they will destroy their properties in Lagos and they start shouting. They are marginalizing us. I say, they are marginalizing you. When we are shouting it, you call us miscreants, for goodness sake. That's why I'm sick and tired of even watching their let them demolish all the properties in Lagos. I don't give a damn. Because these are foolish people. Very foolish people. Continue listening to the cry of Nigerian soldiers that are under colonization of the caliphate. Order came from above. Do not pursue the bandits that are killing you. Do not kill them. Do not leave, stop. And tomorrow they will come and kill all of these idiots. I call Nigerians idiots, honestly.
Enough is enough. Thank you. They are playing politics with people. There's so much into this glass. With that armor, with that ammunition, we have to cop this very particular area within a tinkle of a second. I know what Kandavos can do. Good and fine. I know what Kandavos can do. Good to go. How many bandits are inside this booth? Good to go. They are playing politics with people. Big men are eating money at the pub there. Saying that we should not even do that. We should not go after them.
They call their commander that stop pushing, don't go after them. Let them kill you. Bear it. You are suffering for Nigeria. It is good. It is your cross to carry. That is what they brainwash them with. The spare bandits. Tomorrow they'll call them repentant bandits, repentant Boko Haram, and they put them back into the military. Nigerians are foolish, honestly. Nigerians are foolish. Listen to this Daniel Buwala. When they are using you, money is coming, they give you private jet to fly around all over the world. You think that you have arrived, but they don't care about the destruction they are causing for their people. They don't think about it. Okpa Biasika was there, gallivanting, used by Gawan. Where is Okpa Biasika today? The whole children, they changed their name because their father committed atrocity. He committed abomination by fighting against his own people openly, not secretly. So the children, grandchildren today, all of them changed their surname so that they will never be known. Is it a good thing? And says no. But when his father was gallivanting, flying everywhere, being given first class private jet, he thought that you open his mouth like Daniel Bwala. No, there is nothing that is happening. Biafrans, I'm an Igbo man. Biafrans are rebels. They are the cause of, there's no famine happening. Oh, no, but today he's dead. Where are his children? Can any of his children or grandchildren or great grandchildren rise up to come up today and say, I am of Asika's family? No, because they know that I am Merala. And if we continue following that generation, that family, both to father and mother side, that is what this man is committing. Fulani, they know how to use you. Before you understand, they give you money. What is money? Is it their money? It is that natural, so-called Nigerian natural resources. It is what they are using in order to advance their agenda, their projects. That is it. So they give to you crumbs and you mess up, continue messing up. This is what Daniel Buhari is doing.
Our government has made massive.
He knows how to speak good English. So he is intelligent. That is what Nigerians will be. He's intelligent. Like Femi Kayode. He feels that he's intelligent. You don't know that he is stupidity. History, Kayode, I don't blame him, like father, like son. His father betrayed Awolowo. So betrayal is in their blood. That is it. Continue listening.
Has made massive progress in the fight against insecurity, and we're calling on Donald Trump to assist us with military apparatus that is requisite for us to fight insecurity. We do not need the boots of the American soldiers in our soil.
And to give you a weapon, when you collect a weapon, you cannot manufacture. You don't even care to manufacture because you don't even care to put electricity. Nigeria, the caliphate is so wicked. They suffer the population to the highest. You see, ordinary energy, electric, central electricity. You will pay, just give it to the people. Provide it for the people. They say no. Because if the people have electricity, millions and millions will have direct job. People will start, even seeing light, physical light. And from physical light, they will start seeing even internal light. They will start making researches. So they don't want it. The caliphate say, keep these people in darkness. With the help of Britain. They say, keep the population in darkness. Do you know that if any Nigerian president that come into power and leave every other thing and put electricity 247, that person will be celebrated forever. Do you know that? But they don't do it. They will not do it. They suffer the population because they know that if the population rise up, they will chop them raw. So Britain always tell them, the caliphate, in collaboration with that evil caliphate represented by Sultan of Sokoto, do not allow these people to see road. Keep them in perpetual darkness. Let them be buying generators, be breathing hazardous compounds, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and be dying and be mad, so that they will not think about their future. So that whenever there is election or electioneering campaign, you throw them one packet of Indomie and they're okay. You give them 1,000 naira, they're okay. They praise you. This is what breathing in of polluted air is causing. This is it. So they don't want the people to see road, so that you don't ever question them, and somebody will be coming to invoke Nigeria has natural resources, and I ask, your natural resources, is it for you? Do you even know about it? Where the past generals, the former governor of Edo State revealed, he said it openly. He said the insecurity in the north also, they have former generals, former presidents that have private armies, militias, terrorists that are scaring villagers, killing community, wiping out communities so that they can be mining. They have private aerodromes, taking gold, taking silver, taking other rare earth materials from northern Nigeria direct to Dubai, direct to London, direct without nothing, without transiting any other place, direct. So that is the natural resources you are protecting. What is the and what is the benefit of that? Goddamn the natural resource to Nigerians. You don't see all of us run away from our land. From Imo State, we have the largest deposit of gas in Africa. But here we are scavenging everywhere around the world. And you are telling me of natural resources? Go to Uguta. There is no road in Uguta. And you are telling me of natural resources? Oh, how can Trump come? Let him take everything. Let him come with all of them and let America take all. Because these people are evil. Instead, they bank the whole money abroad. They bank all the money abroad, buy properties abroad. That is why they are fidgeting. All of them are shaking. Very mad, primitive set of people. Very primitive looters. When you see them, is it not Colin Powell during Obasanjo regime? He said, if you see every Nigerian politician, in his face, you see that he's a criminal. A very big. He's saying you will see it. That time I think he said it in a way, and the Nigerians started attacking him. Nigerians love him. They want to maintain that we are sovereign country. You are sovereign country, and the Fulani are killing all of you. You are shouting every day. When you look at the faces of all the Nigerian politicians, you see primitive looters. You see criminality in their faces. They don't look like even the faces of other politicians, even in other parts of Africa. No. I'm not even talking of other parts of in Africa. Nigerian politicians, you see them. You see that evil wickedness in their faces. Primitive looters, criminality in their faces. Look them very well. Continue listening.
Soldiers in our soil. There has to be a respect. We do not need the boots of the American soldiers in our soil. There has to be a respect of our territorial integrity.
Your territorial integrity, you are respecting that Bala Mohammed told you that they are bringing the whole Fulanis of this whole world of Africa to Nigeria to settle. And they are committing atrocities. Do you ever see Nigerians ask Bala Mohammed, say, why don't you respect Nigeria's territorial integrity? He dismissed territorial integrity of Nigeria. The governor of Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed. He said that there is not, for a Fulani man, there is nothing like Nigeria. Fulani he is a Fulani by nationality. Talk about Nigeria. Say you cannot restrict him. He moves in and moves out at will. He comes there, they settle him using Nigerian funds. So there is nothing you can do. There, they don't invoke territorial integrity. Very wicked set of human beings. Do you see this Sokoto Caliphate? We shall remember him. Honestly speaking. Do you see the Sultan of Sokoto? That is he is the chief. When he come out, he talk politically correct. Because that is throne of Sokoto Caliphate, the Sultan of Sokoto. It is a colonial throne, colonizer's throne, until it's destroyed. All these things will never stop. That's why let Trump come. Are you going to tell somebody from Ohaji that if you fly down from Germany, you don't even see roads to go to your village, but they build the state-of-the-art gas processing plant in Ohaji that is ready to supply Europe, but they don't have road in Ohaji. The Ohaji community in diaspora are contributing money to build the police station in their community. for goodness sake. And you're telling me of natural resources? Donald Trump may also now use a tomahawk. Anything that can destroy, destroy, please. We beg you, destroy. These people, they are not supposed to live. I'm telling you, destroy. They are evil. They are completely evil. Continue listening to this man.
It fits, if the story or the report is correct, then it fits into the narrative of creating a problem, provide solution, and reinvent yourself. You see, as a government, we don't want to heat up the polity, but if you recall, there was a congressional hearing in the United States where the U.S. congressman, I think Scott Perry, who was holding, I think, a hearing with the CIA, in which he mentioned that the CIA funded Boko Haram, ISIS, and Saudi.
If what you are saying now, okay, let's assume it's okay, yes. Oh, you say the accusation, they funded Boko Haram, okay, let's agree. What did you do as a responsible government? As a sovereign country? What did you do? You keep on waiting, cooling down. You wait, you cannot do nothing, and it is now you want to invoke sovereignty, which means you are a piece of SHIT machine. If you had that, oh, America is funding Boko Haram, and you just keep on and say, you keep quiet. You say, no, we can't do nothing. What is the need of your sovereignty? What is the need of you being a country? Is it now you are going to invoke it? Donald Trump, please. I'm using this medium. You know now, please, as I'm talking, strike. We want you to strike Nigeria with hellfire missiles, please. Because these people are evil. They want to destroy the indigenous population to clear everybody for the Fulani Caliphate. That is what they want. And we will remember the Sokoto Caliphate. We will remember him. Don't worry. We remember him. We run programs on that throne. So this man is making this allegation or conclusion. Okay, if it's okay, yeah. What did Nigeria do since that time? Since that congressional hearing, revelation from that congregation, what did they do? Let's say, as a sovereign country, they are invoking. Oh, they hear that, oh, America, CIA was funding Boko Haram. As a responsible country, what do you expect? They will go into deeper investigation, collaborate with other secret services, and bring proofs. And then take America to United Nations. Expose them, expose the CIA, say, stop doing this. We are a sovereign country. But they keep quiet. These people, do they need to leave? Please. Now it's using all this sentiment to come to tell you why so starting a problem and coming back to solve it, because you are a non-existent country. That is it. Trump calls you shithole. That is what you are. Stop making noise.
Kinds of insecurity in Nigeria and its environment. And this is not the American lawmakers. It is a U.S. congressman under oath was questioning the CIA director. And he was saying that all of the funding for that was passed through the USAID. Now, but that's their domestic issue. And as a country, we know that.
No, you see how stupid they are. This man is. He said, this is their domestic issue. A revelation that was made that concerns your country, which you should take up. He said, no, that is their domestic issue. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu si ndị isi ojii ala m n'iyi. I'm telling you honestly. No, ndị Nigeria ala mmadụ n'iyi there. Sometimes now let me finish it and open the lines, please, because this one sometimes they say no comments. The stupidity is stinking. You saw a country funding through their secret service, funding terrorism in your own country, and you say no, you wave it out with you say no, this is their domestic issue, it doesn't concern me. It doesn't concern me. And you see that these terrorists, Boko Haram, are killing people in your country. And you say, no, it doesn't concern me. It's an American domestic issue. Whether they fund the Boko Haram or they don't fund, it doesn't concern me. Now, why are you talking now? You know, I don't know. A work with the journalist, no, I don't know. Please, if you venture see this Daniel Boal anywhere in the world, any part of the world, ask him. So you allege, according to you, you are representing a government, a regime now, Nigeria as a country. Now you are saying this with your mouth. That okay, there were a few years back, the congressional hearing, CIA director was questioned under oath, and he agreed that they through USAID that they are funding Boko Haram. Now you wave it away. You said no, I don't want to go into that because it's an American domestic issue. It doesn't concern you. But they are doing something catastrophic to your country. And there's a sovereign country you are claiming now. You don't want to dive into it because it is not your problem. Are you not a fool? No. Does that country even need to exist? No. Trump, Trump, strike now, please. And even strike indiscriminately. Because these people are not fit to live on this planet Earth. They are shamed, they shame me. Look at what a man, a person representing a government is saying. That they have they had that CIA was sponsoring Boko Haram to kill their fellow citizens. But he said no, it doesn't concern us. It's an American internal issue. Even Trump will look at this person and say, you are an idiot. Look at, you are an idiot. Simple, he will qualify you, say, hey, you're an idiot. Chineke kuna yojo. Ndị shoji ala mmadụ n'iyi. I'm telling you. The way they reason, you think that they are making points, only they speak English. By speaking English, they think they are intelligent. Speaking another man's language. You think you are intelligent? No. You standardize your intelligence by, the language you speak. How fluent you can speak English. Come on, man. Get over it. You are simply a slave, nothing more. That's why even I am happy next week on Space we discuss about whether the Northerners, whether they are real illiterates, as we call them. We discuss about it. So look at what this man is blabbing. Let me finish it, please.
USAID. Now, but that's their domestic issue, and as a country, we CIA director, and he was saying that all of the funding for that was passed through the USAID. Now, but that's their domestic issue, and as a country, we know that if we begin to focus on the problems, we might not find a solution, especially when we know there are pretexts in some of these geopolitical drama. And he's saying, but we as a country, we try to be responsible enough to.
So this man should get lost from me. I'm telling you. Let me play again before I enter into few minutes break. Listen again to the Nigerian patriotic soldiers or soldiers of a sovereign country that are recruited to die for Nigeria, fighting Fulani terrorists. All of a sudden, they are pursuing the terrorists on motorcycle to kill them. Other came from above, say, no, stop pursuing them, don't ever shoot them. How many times have you heard from soldiers directly that they are giving secret orders never to kill any Boko Haram, rather to catch them? To catch them with hand, not to kill them. And he said, averagely, to catch a Boko Haram terrorist, it takes the life of 8 Nigerian soldiers to catch one alive. Because if you kill any Boko Haram terrorist, you will be executed as a Nigerian military. This is a country, their sovereign country, as some Yorubas are purveying. Very loathsome. Listen what they are suffering.
You know Enough is enough. Thank you. They're playing politics with people's lives. There's so much into this ground. With that armor, with that ammunition, we have to cop this very particular area within a single of a second. I know what kind of us can do. Good or fine. I know what kind of us can do. Good to go. How many parties are inside this booth? Good to go. They're playing politics with people. Big men are eating money at the pub there. Saying that we should not even do that we should not go after them. Enough is enough. Thank you.
This is they are armed though, but they are crying. What that's why I like Oyibo people. You see concussions. There are things they cannot endure, honestly speaking. Oh, now these people, they are armed to the teeth, with armored personnel carriers, armored bulldozers. What stops them from turning around and moving down to Asorok, blastering their way to Asorok, killing every politician they see? No, they are complaining. They have guns. As they complain now, maybe most of them have been sent and sabotaged, and Boko Haram or these Fulani terrorists have killed them. Some others will be arrested and, charged under the military law or their so-called military law. They complain, you have arms. They don't shame. It's a very big pity that we find ourselves existing in this type of Homo sapiens. Honestly, sometimes it pains me. Even maybe 4th century. By now, you have your organic body have turned into crude oil. At least a moto or by now, because how can people be behaving like this? How can people be so dishonest like this? This is what I used to ask. Anyway, as for Biafrans, we cannot allow ourselves, to be compromised. Seeing all these things and, all these painful reactions, all these painful actions. No, we must get out of Nigeria, honestly. This is where I'm going to start. I'll go into a few minutes break so that when I come back, I will open the lines. Please do not go away. I'll be right back.
In the African nation of Nigeria, millions of Christians are persecuted by Islamic terror groups. The Nigerian government is doing very little to stop the attacks. Well, now religious freedom advocates, including one member of the U.S. Congress, are taking action. CBN's Kelly Wright has this look at the crisis.
On this very day, 210 persons were slaughtered in one night, in less than 24 hours.
The video from the Father's Day massacre includes graphic images of people being burned alive, families attacked, and homes destroyed in Yelawata, Nigeria.
That very day, it was raining, so Fulani herdsmen, they invaded the community and claimed so many lives. Around 12 midnight, we started having calls from Yelawata that the Fulanis have come and they are killing, burning.
Friday night, I was leaving my house. See my house there. I come here, they shoot gun. Later, they come, they break this house. Where my brother is sleeping here with his children. Thereby, they come, they kill people. They were breaking the house. Say, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar.
These first-hand accounts gathered by Truth Nigeria journalists describe the ongoing atrocities in a terror campaign to eradicate Nigeria's Christians. Judd Saul, filmmaker and missionary, the organizer of equipping the persecuted, highlighted this documentary as a way to sound the alarm.
We need to fight this thing threefold. One, America as a government needs to get involved with a very little. I'm talking very little of our resources. If we just did the very little bit of push an aggressive foreign policy, throw some sanctions, whatever it takes, I think we can put a significant dent in this and put a stop to this.
U.S. Representative Chris Smith of New Jersey who has traveled to many dangerous areas in Nigeria, has introduced a resolution in Congress to help stop attacks fueled by religious hatred.
There has been an exponential increase in attacks on Christians and some Muslims, but Christians in particular. Protestants, evangelicals, Catholics, they're firebombing their churches. The Fulani are killing them with absolute impunity. We've called on the government in Abuja and the president several times to do what governments do, law enforcement. Use the military if you have to, but stop this genocide and do it now.
The resolution points to Nigeria's government's apparent open border policy that allows almost free access to the country. Fulani militants and ISIS-linked extremist groups from neighboring countries take advantage of this policy to carry out mass murder, rape, and kidnappings.
We're also calling on President Trump to reissue, which he did in his first term, the designation of country of particular concern. And that then gives the president wide latitude to impose sanctions. It's an excellent bill when it's used properly. It gets the attention of all the policymakers, in this case in Abuja. It says, we're not kidding.
During a White House press briefing, I asked Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt about the crisis in Nigeria. And do you know if there's any action that the president will take?
I'm not tracking a call between the president and the head of Nigeria. I know the president wholeheartedly condemns the persecution of Christians or, frankly, of people of any faith all over the world, but I don't have any updates for you in terms of sanctions in this part of the world.
Looking beyond any government response, Judge Saul is calling on the church and Christians in America to stand with the persecuted in Nigeria.
They need to pray. They need to be a voice for the voiceless. They need to be a voice for our persecuted brothers and sisters.
Kelly Wright, CBN News.
Well, whatever pressure we can put on the Nigerian government, we need to put it on the Nigerian government. They're the one responsible for the safety of their own citizens, and to let these armed groups have sort of free reign in the northern part of Nigeria makes no sense. And I don't understand that these sort of continual struggles coming out of Nigeria. You need to establish law and order in your own country. You can't have your women, your girls kidnapped. You can't have people murdered in the streets. You can't have these churches burned to the ground. All of that is happening, and it's happening on their watch. So whatever we can do as United States citizens to petition our government and to support this bill in Congress, and then move on the administration and the State Department to do the very necessary work of saying, look, it's time for you to stand up for your own people. It's time for you to protect Nigerians. So let's do our part, and hopefully the government there will respond and do.
Welcome back. This is Radio Biafra House of Service coming to you through Radio Biafra London. My name remains Mazi Jonathan Chinedu from Alu province of Biafra land. And we are here live and direct. Today is the third day of the 11th month, being November 2025, being Monday, 3rd of October. For now, our lines are now opened, and our WhatsApp and Signal line remains +61 405 142 547. I repeat, +61 405 142 547. I repeat once more, +61 405 142 547. You can call us and give us your view, please. Remember, what we are saying is factual, because what is happening in Nigeria, either Nigeria is destroyed in order to save the lives of people, or people continue dying avoidable deaths, genocides continue happening, and Nigeria, in order to save Nigeria unity according to the caliphate, all is Unity, unity, Nigeria, unity. No, we are one people. No, we are not. We are not, for your information. Therefore, as I said, you can call us and give us your view, please. Our lines have been opened. Mazi, I don't know. Mazi Joe, can you hear me? Are you there?
Yes, I'm with you, Mazi.
There, well, please go on. You are the first caller.
A very good evening, Mazi.
There, well.
Mazi, in the past, should I say like 72 hours now? Just ordinary 72 hours. They are running from pole to pole. You see, they are not ready yet for... Nigerians are not ready yet to be free. You know, they are not ready yet to be free. Because if they are ready to be free, they would have taken advantage of these past 2-3 days. At least for the past 5 days that this news has been out. They would have taken this advantage, come out in mass, march all around everywhere, all over the country. And let's see if the police or army will be able to kill any one of them. You know, there is something that you used to say that our people, they are not yet, they are not, there's a way that you used to put it. These people are not ready for conversation. They are not ready for freedom. If they know the power that Donald Trump statement gave to them, they would have woken up. The ones up north that the things are even affecting, they are still sitting down for over 24 hours. They are not doing anything. So they now believe that the man will just send plane or warship just like that without them standing up for themselves. Our people are not ready, Mazi. They're even our Igbo kids and kids, they are not even ready. If they know what this advantage that this man has given to them, they know what it means. Mazi, Nigeria should be boiling hot by now. Hot water, it will be boiling. But look at them. The Yoruba Christian defending Muslims that are killing people that he's preaching to every day. Look at this church up north, Ekwa. That church, they have lost more members than any other church in the north. Where are they today? Are they not supposed to take the advantage of what this man said? But all of them are sitting, sleeping, afraid to fight for their own rights. Our people are not ready. They are not ready. They are not ready. They are not ready. That's all I can say, Mazi, before anger enter. Okay, Mazi.
There, we must make them to be ready. That is it. The actions of IPOB should energize. That is it. Whether they like it or not. If they are not ready, we are ready in order to move out of that shithole called Nigeria. They love Nigeria all of a sudden. Nigerian sovereignty. Look at Nigerian sovereignty. We are terrorists are pouring in from every corner. And the Nigerian military tells you, they are overwhelmed. They cannot defend the citizens. Defend yourself. Caller on WhatsApp, please go on. Caller on WhatsApp. Mazi Obasi, hold on, not you, please. Caller on WhatsApp, please go on. Somebody is online on WhatsApp. I don't know why you're not talking. Caller on WhatsApp, can you please go on? Don't occupy and you don't talk. Mazi, please go on. Go on. Bapu also. There is no time.
Good evening, sir. I want to I want to commend you on the teachings that you are. I want to commend you, Mazi, based on the teachings that you are giving to our people.
Mazi, are you talking? Why are you stopping? Why are you stopping? If you are not stopping, I take another call. Please, if you are not talking, please go on.
Okay, I want to commend you on based on the teachings that you are giving to our people, and if you can see that our people are waking up gradually. And secondly, I want to commend the IPOB worldwide based on their work, the beautiful work they are doing for our people.
Mazi, what do you? I don't know.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Please, if you are not concentrated, I have to take another call. Sorry, we are not in a joke here. Please, you are sorry for yourself. I'm sorry for me. Mazi Obasi, please go on. When you call here, if you are not concentrated, don't call. Don't call. Mazi Obasi, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
There we Mazi.
Jonathan, loud and clear. I can hear you.
There we.
Greetings to you, Mazi Jonathan, and greetings to all our listeners. Mazi Jonathan, I was listening to one sheikh, though the audio is in Hausa, Sheikh Imam Munir Adam Koza. He was sharing an experience he had. And I'm sharing this because of our Hausa friends and brothers. Brothers in the sense that we are all together in this operation and the deliberate and well orchestrated plan to be conquered. We are together suffering from that. He said he was invited to a meeting in one of the states, and in this meeting, you have every Islamic preacher, every influential person from the north, those who are influential in the sense of being, internet influencers, and those who are influential in terms of having a lot of people that listen to them to preach. In other words, all the people that can help in shaping public opinion were invited to that meeting. And this meeting was headed by security personnel, by heads of securities, by kings. And in that meeting, they were called to be given instructions on how they should speak publicly concerning what is happening in the north and all over Nigeria. One, they were told that whenever they go out there, that they should tell the whole world that the Fulanis are doing what they are doing because they were unfairly treated. One. Secondly, that because they are unfairly, they were treated unfairly, that people should not blame them so much. Instead, people should sympathize with them and support the need for the Fulani people to be, for a peace deal to be brokered among them. And also that they should, because that they have been doing these things, they should be given arms so that they can be able to protect, their people from those who are attacking them. And these are the things they were asked to go out there and propagate. So he raised his hand, though it was his first time in the meeting. He raised his hand and he said he has a question. And he began to speak. He said that he support what the KB governor is doing because the KB governor, brought, civilians that are locals and he armed them to go and fight. But he is completely against the pardoning of people who have killed human beings. Now, don't forget that this sheikh is a Hausa sheikh. That he is against that, that even the Quran supports that whoever kills needs to be killed. He said, if you forgive these people, what you are telling them is that it is good to kill. If you forgive these people, and we are here as preachers going about preaching that these people should be forgiven, they were badly treated, they were doing, all sort of things. What do you tell the children of those whose parents were killed by these same people? And he said, even before he could finish what he was saying, someone had to shut him up. And the person quoted to him somewhere in the Quran saying that the people who fought against Prophet Muhammad, at a point, he had to forgive them and even make the person a commander of his army. Now, why am I saying this? Why do I have to go and bring this guy's exposition? It is because we have to understand that these things that these people are doing, it's not about Islam. We keep saying this, even though some of our brothers on the other side might think otherwise, but Islam is only a cover. The Fulanis are on a rampage. And this sheikh finally said that after that meeting, he heard that other meetings have been held both in Abuja, in Kanu, in Zamfara, in Adamawa, and he has never been invited ever again. Ever again. That he was never invited to these meetings ever again. Now, this man is a Muslim. Why is he against what they are saying? Because he knew that what they are saying ideally should be completely out of any kind of consideration. But because it is a Fulani agenda, they have to do it and say it. And people, so when you see any person from the north, Muslim or whatsoever, coming out to tell you, oh, these people have been wrong, oh, the grazing route, oh, their cow has been killed, oh, like Sheikh Gumi will come and say, forgive, you have to understand that they 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 are doing this out of pain. They have been mistreated. I have been privy to document where a certain NGO went in to interview these people, and they were talking about how the Hausa people have mistreated them and has taken their land. And then you ask yourself, which land, for God's sake? When you were coming with your cows, did you transport land at the back of your cows? This is exactly what their progenitor, Osman Danfodio, taught them, and that's what they are doing. That is why the throne of Sadona of Sokoto had to be returned. When we speak about these things, people think we're just making them up. You ask anybody who is telling you, because the Fulani want everybody to believe that it was Uthman Danfodio who brought Islam to the northern Nigeria, and that is not true. There have been Islam long before Uthman Danfodio was born. The Hausa kings that he had to kill to install his own brothers on that throne that is traditionally an Hausa throne. Those people were Muslims. Those Hausa kings were Muslims. He defended and committed a sacrilege even within the Islamic tenets. There is no Islamic jurisprudence that allows you to kill a fellow Muslim as long as he has made the recitation that implies that he has accepted the the lordship of the Prophet and Allah. Once he has made that pronunciation of Shahada, you have no right within the Islamic rule to kill that person. And Othman Danfodio did exactly that. When he killed those kings in the 1800s, he did not kill them because they were non-Muslim. He killed them because he wanted to advance a Fulani agenda. And now he has found a lot of ignorant Muslims that think that what the Fulani are doing, just because they go somewhere and say Allahu Akbar before they kill people, they think that these things are being done in the interest of Islam. It's not. The Fulanis are using you, the Hausa people. They are using you, the Kanuris. They are using you, the Nupes. They are using you, and they are hiding under that identity. And once they are done with the Christians like they are doing now, if you allow them, if you keep supporting them and keep protecting them in the name of they are doing this under you, gradually, they are going to finish with the Christians, God forbid, with the help of the voice that IPOB have lent to this matter and the momentum it has gained and the caliber of countries and people that are interested in ensuring that they have put an end to this matter. This is not going to happen. But let's assume that IPOB have not raised that voice. Or let's assume that they have turned around to find a better way of finishing the Christians. The way they killed your kings in 1800s, that is how they are going to come back to you. So what we are doing is actually in the interest of everybody that has been trapped in that country called Nigeria. If we should talk about reacting based on the past pain, if we should think about the pain that the people of Middle Belt have caused us as Biafrans, we would not be speaking up for them. Who didn't know the role that the people of Benue and other part of the Middle Belt played in the pogrom of our people? We all know that. If we were as vindictive as other parts of Nigeria, we would not care, because the president of Nigeria during the Civil War was a Plateau man. Yakubu Gowon is a man from Pangshin. He's an unjust man. But when it matters the most, we are emotionally intelligent enough to know that we have to protect the life of these people first before we can blame them for their past atrocities. And that's what we're doing. That is what we are doing as a people, as Biafrans. That's what we are doing. A senator from Bauchi, yes, sir. Okay. A senator from Bauchi last year has been accused of sponsoring bandits, terrorists to Mecca. A senator, a sitting senator, a chairman of what do you call them? This Senate Committee on Security. A chairman of the Senate Committee on Security was accused of sponsoring people who are non-terrorists or linked to terrorists. That matter, have you heard of it again? Senator Shehu Buba, have you heard his case again? From Bauchi South. The Senate Committee on National Security, yes, and Intelligence. He was the chairman of a Senate Committee on National Security and Intelligence. Understand that. National Security and Intelligence. This person is the one that has been caught sponsoring terrorists for a pilgrimage in Mecca. When this alarm was raised, where were you? What did you say? Were you patriotic enough to call that out? Were you? Now, within the space of a few days, you are running up and down, making noise, this and that. Don't listen. It is IPOB who is doing this. What we are saying, is it not true? How, wherever this goes, IPOB will be on record to have always been on the path, not just of the truth, but of those who are oppressed and those who can't speak for themselves. We are speaking for ourselves, and we will not wait until we are done with ours before we will speak for other people, as long as it is needed, whether it is for the Hausa people or for the other Christians, because we have Hausa Christians. We will continue to defend the defenseless. That is our duty. Call us any name that you want. The world knows who we are. That is why when we speak, they listen. Ndewo Mazi Jonathan.
Ndewo Mazi Obasi. Thank you very much. Of course, that is it. They follow any propaganda. They call themselves, they gather, they tell themselves what to tell the whole world, what to move out, to propagate. And they also pay their willing tools like Daniel Bwala and co. And Kayode, Femi Fani Kayode, and all of them. Reno Mokri, to tell them, oh yeah, it is your job. Go and do this. Go and defend the caliphate's position. Caller on, let me see. Caller on signal, please go on. Can you hear me? Caller on signal. Oh, you drop off. Okay. Caller on WhatsApp. Can you hear me? Please go on. Caller on WhatsApp. Caller on WhatsApp, please go on. Can you hear me? Yes. Go on, Mazi. Go on. Go on.
My name is Chukwu, and I'm speaking from my location. Thank you once again, Jonathan, as always. I greet my leader, our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, man who set up this platform to expose so many things. I greet him once again. Yes, this evening, I want to start from the first caller that said our people are not ready. That type of statement is not allowed to this platform. Those who are human beings are ready to stand until the end of this movement. Because the Bible says going forward is life, going back is death. So for one to say our people is not ready, we don't want to hear it already, Biafra. We are ready. Now, we talk about T.Y. Danjima and Gowa during the Biafra war. They are from the Middle Belt. The Fulani used them during their time to fight Biafra during their youth age. After using them, today they have been old enough that they cannot do any other thing. And the Fulani have taken over. Now, the Yorubas today, they want to use Chinedu and the foolish ones, criminals in Yoruba land, to use them to do their devilish work by attacking the Igbos of Biafra. They have allowed them to use all the key positions in government. Today and before, when Mr. Alozie mentioned so many key big portfolio of leadership in Nigeria, both army, both air force, both police, both finance, both justice, everything, custom, everything was occupied by Yoruba. Forget about what is going on with what they call senators and House of Representatives. That is nonsense. The main key in ministry, Federal Minister of Nigeria, was covered by Yorubas. What am I trying to say here is this. The Yorubas don't think, I mean the present Yoruba now, they don't think to reason, to learn for what happened to Gowon and Tiwai Danjima in the Middle Belt. Because of the foolishness and the hatred in them, they are looking forward for position that Fulani allow them to cover. They don't think another 50, 100 years, when this present evil people from Obasanjo and Tinubu have died, what is going to happen for the children of Fulanis then and the Yorubas? Our leader opened this platform to expose so many things, for people to know what is coming. But surprise, surprise, some idiots who have no eyes, or spiritual eyes, or foresight to think 50, 100, 200 years coming, what will happen to their race? They are sheepishly like Soludo and Igbo politicians. They don't think, they don't reason. They think that they are fighting IPOP. They don't know they are destroying themselves, and their enemy are laughing at them. But at the proper time, the enemy will destroy them one after the other. A people that we think that they have sense, the Eastern governors and politicians. Look at Wike in Abuja. Look at idiots like Asari Dokubo. Look at all these evil people. Did they know that? Did they think that the Fulani are foolish like them? They don't know. A time will come. If they allow the Fulani eat in Nigeria, all of them will be one or the other. There will be nobody to save them. And for them, it will be too late. Why not people think now are alive? Marco, the agent of Nigeria, paying money, 100,000 naira, less than $60, paying that money for some idiots who say they are on the internet, paying them 100,000 to China Sangoran and IPOB. Look at how foolish black people, foolish and idiots. They don't think ahead of time. What they see today, they will eat and die tomorrow is their business. Why not think? Look at the damage Kanu Takano, Emmanuel Kanu, Aloye Jibmako, Nenianya, and their group have done to this movement. Look at people without sense.
There were, thank you.
Useless to be called.
There were, thank you, Mazi.
I encourage our people to stand strong. Power to another one. Don't put any power that any that will put weak to our people. That is what I mean. Thank you, Jonathan, for your effort.
There were, thank you. For your information, what Mazi Joe said about our people not being ready is figurative. That is it. So, we should understand when things and how things are being spoken is part of the knowledge. So when he said that we are not ready, then if it is the way you take it, why then are we doing what we are doing? So it's figurative. Nonetheless, thank you very much. Caller on WhatsApp. Can you hear me, please? Is it? No, sorry, not caller on WhatsApp. Caller on Signal. Mazi Oba. He had been here before the WhatsApp. Can you hear me,
Yes,
Mazi
my
Oba?
dear brother, Professor Jonathan. Good evening, sir, from
There,
my side.
Mazi. Welcome to the program.
I remain Mazi, Celeste Nogba, from the Ground Zero and Akwa Ibom precisely. Professor Jonathan, it is appalling what is happening. Suddenly, we just over how these Fulani terrorist sponsors and the political opportunists that are united, galvanized by sheer corruption, suddenly love the so-called Nigeria. I'm yet to understand it. Very, very yet to understand what is happening. But what we have to tell Chief Ogbagodon and Trump is that a Christian genocide in the Nigeria are being even underrated because the Nigeria state continue to intimidate the media to hide and make sure that cover up the genocide against the Christians in the Nigeria. It is a good thing that the cry of the good people who have been rendered helpless, whose life has been cut short, whose dreams has been terminated, the share out of this wicked and the bastardly act by the terrorists. That has attracted sympathy from the United States American president. And what I can tell President, please send your army, send your to the Nigerian state has practically failed to protect people. And the issue of sovereignty, why are we talking about the issue of sovereignty? Where Funani from Mauritania can call to kill indigenous Nigerians. Let me use that their phrase, because for us there is nothing like Nigeria. Why can Funani from Mane come to invade their territorial integrity and massacre somebody from Enugu and the Abakaliki? Why would the Funani come from Senegal and invade the Nigerian state and kill people from the Benue, from the lower, from the Kogi, and even the Yoruba land? And none of them, the corridor of this power, have remembered that there is something called sovereignty of the nation never existed. So why is it that they realize that America coming to protect Nigerian Christians are invading the sovereignty of Nigeria? What I'm saying is, to me, if we have to be recolonized, if it takes for us to be recolonized, because from our actions and the inactions as a people under this contraption, we are just occupying the space for nothing. So if Donald Trump or the West can still recolonize, it will be okay for me, because I think they are being recolonized by people who are better than me, than the Fulani, who are the lowest of the low, for me to come under their colonization. Professor Jonathan, I'm asking Donald Trump to come today, tomorrow. Even if it is taking the resources, are we enjoying the resources today? What is the benefit of, okay, so some of us who are in the ground zero homeland, what do I stand to benefit? Do I even know that they have any resources as a supposed citizen? What do I gain from the state? Absolutely nothing. The state rather subjugate me and they tax me beyond taxation. Why they add low value to me as a person who pays that money? So it is appalling. And the worst thing is that the hypocrisy of the Yaribas. The hypocrisy of the Yaribas is something that people who never knew this should be an eye-opener for you to know that the hypocrisy of the Yaribas is extreme, especially when it comes to their religious Geos. Have you heard of any of them who raised up his voice? These are in defense of your own Christian whom you are leading. And all of these people have remained silent. But in the language of Archbishop Desmond Tutu of South Africa, he said, and I quote, "Those who maintain absolute silence in the midst of injustice are worse than the oppressors." Professor Jonathan, these people are vampires, because we understand that the only thing that there is nothing makes you different from the political criminals. The only that you carry Bible just as a cover up, because when you can't wake up and just simple to open your mouth on the realities on ground, contribute to your own quota, tell the world what is happening, but you've gone back to your share simply because of this ethnic politics. It is my own. Jagaba must complete his tenure at the expense of the poor, unprotected zoological masses. So it is something that must touch the conscience of any normal human being. Professor Jonas, let me, because Charles Chukwuma Soludo is becoming a very huge disappointment. I do not even understand where the professor comes from, because it is obvious that he cannot understand his left between the right. And when we look at the eastern governors, at least I have not had any comment from any of them. And it is better like that. If you don't know what to say, keep shut. Keep your mouth shut if you don't know what to say. It's not to come to media and continue to rant. Why would Charles Soludo come up to utter such garbage? This is Professor Charles Soludo who constituted a panel of inquiry led by Chinedu Kanu to look into the insecurity in Anambra State and by extension, Southeast. And this noble man did a very great job and pass it to Soludo, see what is happening. And Soludo refused to tell the world because politicians were indicted. Because they are cause of this insecurity. Instead, he has to go all the way to mainland in America to fort IPOB, undermining the report of the panel of inquiry that he inaugurated. That is how we know that these people are united in corruption at the expense of the Nigerian masses, so to say. It is very, very appalling, Professor Jonas. I cannot wait to see Donald send his troops. Let them put it on the ground. Let the terrorists stop the killing, because the killing is much. And for us in IPOB, we owe the duty to tell the world the truth. And we will continue to do that, regardless of what the Nigerian state is doing. So we must stand for it to always tell the world what is happening. Because our position is be on your own and not our own. We do not have this history of killing or invading people, but nobody should invade our land. Even when we are just understanding that this world is a world of conquest, and it is a very, very weakness on our side as an indigenous people. So, Professor Jonathan, I will just leave it here, but we must continue this fight, and I urge everybody to raise your voice. And finally, let me remind, very, very good. Nigerian government are very, very good in bribery. Any that bribe to America, President Trump is that man. Are anybody from the Nigerian government that will bring bribe to America to influence this Christian genocide that is up to downplay it? Arrest that person and they sentence him for life imprisonment. That is my last message to Donald Trump. Professor Jonas, we must keep propagating this message, because Biafra is our identity, and here on Hello platform or Radio Biafra, we must propagate the message of freedom. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Caller on what's up? Thank you for holding on, Mazi. Please go on.
Good evening, Mazi. Hey, how you doing?
I'm good.
Things are looking up. I'm very happy to see what's going on. Good evening. My name is Obi. I'm calling from UK. So this thing that you're talking about, South Sudan, this is the opportunity for us to get our own liberation. You know, this our Biafra thing. This is it. You know, before Sudan, for them to get their own referendum, a pastor, I'm not the one saying it, it's for Robert Spencer from X, someone who was saying it on the show. A pastor in the United States went to George Bush to tell him to give South Sudan referendum. And that's what he did then. That's why they're so free. Israel was supporting that. So this is our time for us to lobby the evangelical churches in America to get to Donald Trump, to set us free. Because all these things is happening now. This is our opportunity. I'm very glad. I'm very happy. Now you can see the Fulani now. Of them are crying. They're crying right now. I am surprised. Some Yoruba people too. I am joining them. Calling off what? Surveillance country. What? You can't even control your own security. The people there are dying every day. It's us on X promoting what's going on in Nigeria, sending emails here, left, right, center. Every day I'm on there. All I have to say to my people is that we have to keep up the pressure. This is our time. If we know any churches that these people are going, we need to be in America to push our problems towards them. This is the time Nnamdi Kanu can come on. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We need to push his own. This is our time to really talk about him, because we can protest now. Anybody that makes any nonsense, at least we have a ground to stand on. We use the Christian killing as an excuse, but we're not pushing for violence. All we're pushing for is for the right thing. Now they don't have anything to say anymore. Everything is out there. America, they're going to come. And one thing our people need to say, we have to add in ESN. Because we don't really need American troops right here or in Nigeria. All we need is American destroyer, and they send special forces to train ESN, and we can do the job. Send in drones and the rest, because American troops, they don't know the ground. We are on ground already. Because every time I put in my tweets, I always add in ESN on ground to assist. So we need to do that, because they will start asking, who is ESN? then we'll give them our people. So this is our time. So Mazi, I sign off here and I wish us the best. This is our time to do what we need to do. Thank you. Good night.
There Mazi. Thank you very much.
Thank you, brother. Good night.
Caller, what's up? You're going to be the last caller. Mazi Scavenger, can you hear me? Please go on.
Professor Jonathan, thank you for taking my call. You're speaking to a brother who's the scavenger. I'm calling from Afridi, South Africa. Even all these claim of Christians are not in their table. You haven't seen them with the item of the heritage in the United Nations. And you don't see that also in AU, African Union. So you ask yourself, what type of word is this? Only Donald Trump now who can come out with speech as the leader of the free world, United States of America. And we say thank you, Donald Trump. But what I want to say to Donald Trump is that people you are trying to save. You know, the problem is that Donald Trump should know that you cannot save water together. If you save oil and water together, later you come back and start to separate water and oil again, because that means you'll be doing double job. But I know that Donald Trump knows what he's doing. So that is why I'm not going to say, no, this is what you're going to do straight. But I know that the second thing you do, the best honorable thing you do for humanity is for referendum. Because if referendum will now decide where Obasanjo is, where human is. Because if you look at these two people I call, do you know Obasanjo I know if Donald Trump knows that Obasanjo is the one who gives the Northern, the Sharia law, 30 states or 12 states in North are practicing Sharia law. And this is where the breeding ground is. This is where the breeding ground are. The terrorists are incubated. You will see you will see Gumida, you will see that's where you will find Muhammad Buhari. And all these people are confirmed that are the one breeding the terrorists. They are their father. They are the ones sponsoring them. All these terrorists, when you go into them, you see all these people who are trying to use Muslim as a camouflage to come and flanage the whole Nigeria. And the East, and that is where it will end. The Professor Jonathan, what I want to say is that if Donald Trump listen to some of his speech and some of their comments now, you find out that it is people you think that they're Christians, but they're not Christians. Some of them are people who are, you see all these mega pastors, mega churches, all of them have been and turn to Christian when they see that this is where they extort money. This is where easy way to get money. So they turned them and became Christians. So if you hear them today, they are not happy. They are not happy. Daniel Bawala, he's just talking all the time. He's even going everywhere to preach and telling them, talking about the integrity of a country that cannot protect itself. Integrity of a country. That's how they used to tell us that Nigeria is giant of Africa. You ask yourself, is it giant of dirty? Is it giant in they don't have electricity? They don't have potable water? They don't have good road? What makes them giant than giant crowd? The country that he has created more than 5 terrorist groups into its military. Sir, President Donald Trump, the president of America, I know what you are doing. We know what you are doing. We appreciate it. But these people you are talking out, this Northerners, they have made up their mind. Because when you come down there even to protect, how long are you going to be there? I know, but to make a plan. That any plan that you are coming there must be permanent. Because it's permanent is what we want to solve this solution. And that permanent is what? Referendum will be. If you want to visit the world, any part of the world in Africa, come to Biafra land, to eastern part of Nigeria, and count all the population you have visited wherever you go. Then the people who are also free world like America, we are free in mind. We don't believe in killing anybody. We say the truth. That is why they say that we hear ourselves. We don't hate ourselves, but we call it a spade. Thank you, Professor Jonathan, for taking my call. Referendum all the way. Start Donald Trump. Referendum is what we are praying for. Bye, Professor.
There were Mazi. Thank you very much. And this is where I'm going to switch off the phones. Please do not call. I will no longer pick any call, please. Biafrans and lovers of freedom, this is not the end. This is just the beginning. And it should energize us in order to do more. Tomorrow is Tweet Tuesday. Do not even wait for Tweet Tuesday. It's time to quadruple our efforts. Tweet, tag Donald Trump, tag American Congress, tag the whole world. This genocide, Nigeria is panicking. Nigerian criminal government and caliphate, they are panicking. It is now they are talking about sovereignty that has been bastardized by Fulani terrorists, headed by Sultan of Sokoto, the Sokoto Caliphate. Sheikh Gumi is there gallivanting freely. Sheikh Gumi is a deportee from Saudi Arabia because of his terrorist activity, killings of people. Sheikh Gumi, you are seeing, Nigerian newspapers are calling respected cleric, taking his statement. In Islam, in our Saudi Arabia, that is the capital of Islam, he was deported. He should have been jailed. They wanted to jail him there, hold him there, and jail him there. But Nigeria deployed their diplomacy in order to bring him back, because it will be a shame. Because they know that what he's doing is anti-Islam. He was just going about doing their Fulani bidding, to grab people's land, to kill people and occupy their land. That is what the colonization. The Sultan of Sokoto knows exactly what is there. That is why they continue telling people. They continue, Let me pick this call. I don't know. Mazi, can you hear me, please? Just, I don't know whether you have some important Mazi, call on WhatsApp. Can you hear me, please? Just use 2 minutes to round up what you want to say. Can you hear me? Just 2 minutes. I just took your call because of maybe you want to bring something. Go on, please, Mazi.
Okay, Mazi, the first caller of this very meeting, he makes sense, and the sense the man makes is that he says this is the right time, and this is the time we are to use one catapult, one stone, catapult kill or 3 or 2 birds. Because if Nigerians did not do anything now, and this everybody did not rise up now, things we get, they will myope, they will bribe, they will pay their last coin to make sure that they silence anything concerning any voice. And when they come back, the slaughter that Fulani will slaughter people will be double times double. By then, the mind and the zeal of Donald Trump will never be as it is again. So now, the first caller statement, please, everybody should be on all hands should be on test. Either tomorrow, next tomorrow, to back Donald Trump's statement and move his speech. Whether he like it or not, by so doing, he pronounced that it is coming. Then let's show the evidence that it is too much for us in this zoo. Everybody are tired of this country. Then ever Tinubu in America or tomorrow with his entourage, then this we say they will be asking him what is happening now. If they are protesting against you, then what are you trying to tell us? Are you here to bribe us? Therefore, God is hearing if so the protest will back it up. That is the only remedy now. Together with the Biafran agitation, everything will be carried along. There will be fire everywhere. So there is sense in that very idea that man brought this evening. Please, I remember your brother Mazi Nwabezono. Thank you so much.
There were. Thank you. There were. We must continue. As I said, we need to quadruple. Anywhere you are hearing my voice as a Biafran, as an IPOB member, please let us invade the space, X space. Even prod, search, go into where people that are talking against even IPOB, go there, defend IPOB. Be busy. Make sure that you tweet. We want us to tweet to reach the whole 8 billion plus people in this planet Earth. And they don't care about development. That is the worst part of it. What matters to them is take over somewhere, destroy it completely, and turn the place into a desert. Look at the what do you call it? The Lake Chad Basin. Lake Chad has diminished to, they say, less than 10% of its normal price. I mean, normal size. This is what they used to. They use always to make excuse. Climate change. They don't know how to plant trees. That you should plant trees to replenish, to forge forests, make forests to grow so that it will draw rain, it will be drawing rain so that to replenish the water. No. They want to use every catastrophe, cause catastrophe everywhere so that they will be using it as an excuse in order to be committing their primitive crime of destruction. So we should not allow it. The Sultan of Sokoto, you see that seat, that throne, which people don't know in Nigeria, we are going to expose them. Expose that throne more and more as time goes on in this platform. But we must continue. Biafra remains our ideology, our religion. If you are an IPOB hardcore, that is, that is contributing your efforts, your finance in this struggle to make things or to making things happen, please be proud. I'm telling you. Thank you very much for listening. From me, Mazi Jonathan Chinedu, from here, it is simply good evening.
Sorry. And also, we received a report that people in Lagos, in parts of Yoruba land, they rejected this vaccination. But they said there is order from above that they must start distributing it in southeast. Let me use that word, southeast. From Monday, 27th, going to schools, churches, everywhere. They have come again. Common sense now should go why. Nigeria, so something good, free of charge. Nigeria will bring it to us. This is just common sense. Something good. Oh, something very beneficial. Now they will target our land. Oh, come and take it. Biafrans, Soya is you number one. What about if it is a vaccination that is untested? What about it is the after effects? Did they know? What about if it is part of the GET program? People here already, Biafra, we raise your common sense part of your brain. That part of your brain that builds on common sense. From tomorrow, they will be dispatched, going from school to school. There are many sicknesses, different sicknesses, they don't care. But this one is vaccination from 9 years to 14 years against cervical cancer in our female mostly. So, whereas look at the trend they give us from our battle. Look at the lack of development. Look at everything. Now they want to say they love us to inject us, give us a vaccine. We should never trust Nigerian government and their agents in our land. They can promote. The doctor said the worry he has is he tried to pose question. They said no, it's order from above. You have to do it in Southeast. Now, how this type of thing could be. So if you are hearing my voice, you now know na Biafra land. Boya, tell him or her about the vaccination, the danger. Our coming generation. Because we are hated. Brigade is there. Anything that happens, even if they want to test the drug, they will bring it to our land. They say, and once they meet the governors are at the mercy of the Fulani Caliphate. you know. So they don't have any say. We don't have political representatives. For your information, I will not continue talking, please. Kai Mecha, this 30th May. Remember, I Mecha the 30th May now. I Mecha the 30th May now. The fire will continue. Because we need to educate our people, honestly. We need to educate our people. People are perishing because of ignorance, lack of knowledge. It is that knowledge that we are trying to impact. Started by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. What you hear here on Radio Biafra, you cannot hear it any other place, any other mainstream media. It's impossible. Therefore, we must continue. Do not forget that on Tuesday, Mazi Chinedu will be coming on air. I'll be hosting him here on Radio Biafra on Tuesday, being the 28th, by 7:30 p.m. BT. Also on the 30th, which will be on Thursday, it is our remembrance, our heroes and heroines remembrance day. And in that case, Mazi Chika Edoziem also, the man in charge, because in the temporal absence of our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the DOS headed by Mazi Chika Edoziem is in charge. Whether you like it or not, you deal with it, is the reality. Mazi Chika Edoziem is in charge. That is it. You have no option. That is it. So, Mazi Chika Edoziem, the head of the directorate of the head of the directorate of the indigenous people of Biafra, will be coming on air to address Biafrans on Thursday by 7:30 p.m. Do not miss these programs, please. Therefore, without taking any much time, because today, Dr. Okachi, he will speak less, and lines, I will open the line so that people will come in mostly to ask questions, mostly about the history, which he started since last week. You listen and hear, and anything you hear, you try to make more researches in order to know it. Because listening to it does not make you know it. When you make your researches, now you confirm the knowledge of it. And knowledge is added. And ignorance will be removed. Therefore, without taking any much time, as I said, I will bring in Dr. Justice Okachi Lois in order to continue. Mazi, can you hear me, please? Welcome to the program.
Yes, good evening, Mazi Jonathan, and good evening, all listeners. It's a pleasure to come back, not because we enjoy what has happened to us as a people and history, but an opportunity using this hallowed platform to share the knowledge that is available out there, and of course from eyewitnesses and survivors of the genocide that's happened to our people. We mustn't misconstrue it or think that your enemy has stopped attacking you. So, but you have to understand the historicity, the background to our suffering. So today, rather than continuing and talking about the actual war, which is the next step, because I structured the lectures or the talks in about 5 ways, so that we'll be able to use today to discuss and raise anyone's question, which we can answer as interactively as possible. We based the talks on the January 15th coup, then the 29th July coup, then the pogrom itself, then the Aburi Accord, and after the Aburi Accord, the declaration of Biafra as a sovereign state. And today, as you know what would happen, after Biafra was declared, the Nigerians decided to invade Biafra. They fired the first shot to try and push people they kicked out of the Federation to bring them back in. So Nigeria, as a result, as a land, was soaked in blood, and is still being soaked in blood. And we need to take a pause then today to field some questions. So be brief in your questions, and I try and answer as many of them as possible, because the actual topic on the war itself, we're going to somehow introduce them, at a bleak rather than individual battlefield. So because there's a lot that went down during the war. But the major causes that led to it is what we discussed so far. So I'm grateful to anyone who's been listening, but it's not enough to listen. You have to share it with other people, and also, as Mazi Jonathan said, read up about it and confirm or confute anything I've been saying on the radio, and feel free to ask questions so that we can try and clarify any area. If I haven't got the answer, I will tell you bluntly, I do not have this answer. But if I do, I'll make it available on Radio Biafra so people would get access to it. But more importantly, we are trying to publish Bead magazine or some sort of booklet which will house most of this information so people have access to them going forward. And it's been hard work, and also it's possible to have a website on Bead where we're going to put all this information and then people can access them, which I feel is very, very important. Today's topic was supposed to be titled Nigeria Biafran War. I didn't call it Civil War. There was nothing civil about it. In fact, civil war is an oxymoronic term. You can't have a war that is civil, but that's another matter. So, but in the Nigerian Biafran War, that's what I call genocide Nigeriana. It's Nigeriana in the sense that is specifically the way Nigeria went about their own form of genocide, which is unique on planet Earth. It appears to be the longest running genocide because the people who have been exposed to genocide are still suffering genocide. So we need to tackle that particular topic on another day. So genocide Nigeriana should be something we should look into. But without further ado, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be accepted in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. So Mazi Jonathan, I'm happy to take some messages now. If you want me to define genocide, I can do that so everybody have an idea what we're talking about. It's not about just having a riot in the market and killing one or two people. This is a planned extermination of the people that is still going on in the full blaze of all those who are supposed to prevent it. There's a genocide convention preventing genocide. And yet, Biafrans seem to be afflicted by it, and it's been the longest running genocide so far. So I'm happy to take some questions, and we'll plow on. Thank you very much, Mazi Jonathan.
Before let me start. Before I open the lines, let me start by asking you, what is your take? Let me open, the statement by asking you, what is your take on, last few days, Wole Soyinka said something that struck me. He said that he was surprised that this Biafra agitation just started, can I say, late. That all these years, we nothing like Biafra until recently. Because to fairness to, he talked many other things anyway, about our leaders kidnapping, that is illegal. But fairness to Wole Soyinka, because we must say it as it is. Wole Soyinka was in jail during the Biafra war, I think so. And when he visited Biafra land and saw the massive genocide that is going on, he went back to Lagos and started talking about it. But he was jailed by Gowon until the war ended. I think, Mazi, I think I'm right. So, what is your take about our? Is it been? Although it's better to be late than never. But my question sometimes is this: why did our people trust so much on one Nigeria going back and now let us forget the past, which is not possible. We shouldn't forget the past and embrace one Nigeria, and as if the war was fought haphazardly. Oh, we are waiting for pronouncement to be made so that we go back, because in the history of civil wars or cases like this, I never see a people that were killed like this and all of a sudden they stop and nothing was going on behind the scenes. Nothing, absolutely nothing. The people went back thinking that everything is okay. I never see it in any part of the world. If any person has seen it, he should speak. But I personally have been trying to inquire, research about other places. It never happened. In our own case, we just forget let's bury the hatchet. Now, one Nigeria, we continue having trust. So it goes with the statements of Wole Soyinka. Why did it take so much time for this to start happening again? Knowing fully well that the war never ended. Abaribe said it in an interview that we thought that the war ended in 1970. It's there on YouTube. His interview with Rudolph Okonkwo. He said, for them, the other people, he said the war never ended. We are mistaken that the war ended. So, why is it so? Is it out of ignorance or weakness of mentality or anything that made us to and now we embrace everything? Anything they talk, we trust. Say, okay. We have no other inside plan, no secret plan, nothing. Mazi, please, if you can say something there before I start taking calls, please. Go on.
Thank you very much. There's a lot to talk on that. Why did we take so long? Well, that's a very good question. First of all, Wole Soyinka was one of these, he spoke his mind because he must have understood what happened to the Eastern Nigerian people before the war started. He was so keen to avoid a shooting war. So he went to the East to meet with the Ojukwu and so on. And after talking to him, when he returned back to Lagos, to West, Gowon arrested him because they didn't want him to speak the truth. And in fact, what did they say about the truth? They say truth is the first casualty of any war. So he was arrested, locked up, and there was international outcry, this famous writer, and he was only released a few months before the war ended. So he spent the best part of the war years in prison, where he waited for the man died. So it's, on the one hand, we need to respect the man because it wasn't, he didn't mince word. He told them you cannot defeat Biafra. And he meant the spirit which guided Biafra, you cannot destroy it. And Ojukwu himself said nothing can crush the spirit of a determined people. That's Ojukwu's quote. So you can beat them physically, you can shed their blood, but their spirit you cannot destroy. And the thing he's saying, they misunderstood that. You can win the battle, and you can even win the war. But Nigeria proceeded to lose the peace, which is where we need to look at what happened to our people. When the war was ending, people thought Nigeria should really consider how they need to protect those of the Biafran stock. And they anticipated that even if you defeated Biafra militarily, there would be a guerrilla warfare. Okay, they're convinced that this was going to happen. Biafrans would carry on fighting. So there's no point continuing the war because they have made the point. So everyone anticipated Biafrans will continue guerrilla fighting. I have my own views why that didn't happen. So what I also don't want to do is to get bogged down in this particular topic. Ojukwu himself, when asked in that famous interview after the war in September 1970 with Frederick Forsyth, he said the ball is now in the Nigerian court. Most people remember that quote. The ball is now in the Nigerian court. It's like you're playing tennis. Yeah, they have served it, and we played it. Now they served it. We send it back to them. It now depends on how they play it back. If they play it back calmly, then that's fine. If they play back viciously, then there's a chance that people reconsider this where we are. So it's just a warning shot. And that interview didn't go down so well with his host, the president of Ivory Coast, because Ojukwu had to be careful what he says, because it's taking an asylum there without aggrieving Nigeria so much. So, but Ojukwu was careful what he said, but the most he can say from his thought, his mind, is that now in the Nigerian court. Now, how did Nigeria go about to play a rotten shot back? They treated us not as no victor, no vanquish. Brothers at war. People tried to make it look such a civil war, misunderstanding among brothers, and so on and so forth. But the first thing they did, immediately Biafra surrendered. For 2 weeks, nobody was allowed to visit the enclave, what they call the enclave, where Biafrans were. No journalists. They just packed them in Lagos. If you're going to go to the east, you have to come to Lagos, and they camped journalists there, so nobody can be wandering around the Biafran land to see what was going on. So for 2 solid weeks, they weren't allowed into Biafra land. And so all this, they were doing, if you like, airbrushing, cleansing the land, so that nobody coming outside would see the actual massacres that was going on. A place called Njaba Bridge. Njaba was the town near Owerri where they went in after the war has finished and massacred so many people. And no one could witness it. I, as a young lad who returned back to their village after the war, on my field where we played, my primary school where we played on the field, there was littered of bodies throughout the whole field. Young Biafran soldiers. I can tell they're young soldiers because you're not wearing Biafran uniform, some are also their own clothing or whatever. It's like people suddenly laying down flat across the actual field, literally wiped out. Okay, so if that was the case, and they were fighting the opposing Nigerians, why were they all lying in the field? So there was lots of massacre that went down immediately after the war. Those who are caught behind the Nigerian rapid advance. So there's a lot of pocket atrocities that occurred. The next thing to say is that while that was happening, Gowon said anyone who mentioned the word Biafra is doing a disservice to Nigeria. It was with airbrush and completely remove the word Biafra. So our people can only whisper it in their sitting room. They don't in their living room. They don't even know who is listening. And if they find you being a Biafran activist, you'll be killed. And there's nobody on the planet who's going to defend you. So why is it taking so long to come through? There's lots of reasons. They removed the name Bight of Biafra, which was at the beginning of the war, the coastal region. They changed it. So you don't hear, there's nowhere you can hear the word Biafra. When before Nnamdi Kanu came on, if you try to type Biafra, the Google was looking, but now just type BI and then Biafra comes up. So that means the name Biafra was forgotten. Okay, so now, why did it take 50 years? Because if you survive the war and you know the deprivations, people don't want to talk about it. The actual suffering that people went through. Not only did they suffer during the war, the food was a critical thing. When the war ended, the airport where Biafrans received the airline, all the planes rather, that dropped in the food and all the supplies, rather than open it up, because Biafrans used it during night time, when the airplane carrying foodstuff, rice and stuff, so when it arrived, the Biafrans unpacked it so rapidly to allow the next plane to land. So it was a very efficiently run airfield, which was feeding, millions of Biafrans. Now, from the Udi airport to, where it's Saint Tomé, just a little island down the coast, it was the shortest run, and the island was bulging with supplies for Biafrans. So Nigeria could have opened with the airport, or any other airport in the Biafra land then, Enugu, Calabar, Port Harcourt, all these places had airports, Warri even. So I'm not saying that Warri was part of Biafra, but it's close by. They could have opened all these airports and then allow all this food to be poured in day and night. Remember Biafra receiving these planes at night only. But now if you open it up and there's lots of food there, you can be flying them in and out without any, disruption whatsoever. The Americans send this huge jumbo Hercules, to go to Lagos. The American army had U.S. Air Force. Nigeria said, no. You can't have U.S. Air Force coming into our land. And they were arguing that Americans bringing planes to help transfer all this food to the Biafran land. But the Americans say it's an Air Force, it's a U.S. Air Force logo. We can't suddenly remove it. So they denied the Americans for getting involved in the airlift. So what I'm saying is to you as a child who remembered having to queue up after the war to get food supply. So they denied us food, which was actually in an island next door. So instead, they said all food which has been given or donated to Biafra has to go through Lagos. So they arrived in Apapa. Remember, River Niger, the bridge over was blown up during the war. So a ferry could only move across from Asaba to Onitsha, and about 4 of them in one day. They have to send jeep, Land Rovers to carry these and army trucks to then start going to, Biafra land. So there's a tactics used after the war to even starve more people. Those who survived the war, I can assure you, thousands and thousands died of this kwashiorkor, this dreaded, disease, because they had food, but they couldn't supply from Lagos because there was a stupid, belief that when you open up the airport in Udu, which the Nigerian army captured, somehow it's a symbol of Biafra. Therefore, we're not going to use it. Yeah? And the last thing they did was all the missionaries who helped to stay behind, who were there at the end of the war, who were making sure Biafra received the food supply. They rounded them all up and locked them up, put them in prison. They had to pay a fine, but they accused them of prolonging the war. So when they finished, when they sent them home, and so they came in to work in Nigeria without a visa. This have been there for so many years before the war. So I can tell you by explaining all these, there was literally genocide before the war. This is genocide in Nigeria I'm talking about. There was genocide during the war. And even after the war, they made sure you carried on starving, killing more people than they were need to die who survived the war. So why did our people not immediately jump into bandwagon? Well, if they did, suppose in one village, let's say Mba 20, Mba Nambi Simbe, they just call it Mba 20 on that particular place. Some people rose up and killed 1 or 2 Nigerian soldiers. What do you think will happen to Mba 20? It will be decimated. It will be completely leveled, and there'll be nobody outside to come and report it. They'll be wiped out. Okay, so you have to understand the pressure that people were under, having survived the war. They have to somehow make ends meet. So, and there was no coordination of how we're going to do armed resistance because the weapons flew in at Uli Airport. Where are you going to bring the weapons in at this stage to do your fighting? You said, well, we could have buried some of them because there was weapons everywhere in Biafra land after the war. Could have collected those and hid them, and some people probably did, but you need to coordinate it. So Ojukwu was out, and he did warn that if people have to be careful not to lead our people into more massacres. So this business about, government in exile, Biafran government in exile was not recognized. So you didn't have anyone outside who would speak for you. You didn't have anyone inside who would fight for you. So it's not surprising to me why it took so long. But what Biafrans knew to the war, they wrote on their walls, and everywhere you could care to see, Agaracha must return. Agaracha must come back. Because they said that Juku has gone on a journey, and they were so determined that he must come home. So that was the only hope they had. The Agaracha must return. And that's a coded message that until Ojukwu comes, we are still outside. So I can carry on talking to you about all these reasons. They not only disenfranchised us, they didn't want us to be part of Nigeria. Imagine you return back to Lagos and you are, say, lecturer grade, whatever. The people who you are above before the war are now above you. And imagine you trying to get back to your original post. Well, it's occupied now, so you have to suffer that indignity. If you try to open a shop, which they're now in a hurry to destroy and vandalize, you have one little hut. You bring your brother, you squat on that hut, that shed, to sell your wear. He sleeps in the morning, he sleeps in the day. You're sharing one hut until you begin to expand. The class of 66 to 70 were extraordinary human beings, and they were really they wanted to destroy them spiritually, economically, and physically, but they survived. So the fact that it's taking so long for Biafra to resurface is because of Nigerian remaining, if they're having their own agenda to continue to persecute them. Because no sooner after 1980, they started killing people again. So this is what triggered the need to return back to looking again why Biafrans are being killed. So I think I'm going to not have the conversation. So those are some of the reasons I personally think might have attributed to why it took a long time for this agitation and the restoration struggle to resurface. And the last thing to mention is that the Biafrans have to know who to trust to lead them in this sort of restoration fight. And until Nnamdi Kanu surfaced, we didn't really have anyone we could fully trust, and so on. We did start with was Rike, but then he let us down. Now Nnamdi Kanu has known all about it, so that's why we are where we are today, because it's taken a long time. Thank you very much for that.
There were Mazi. Honestly speaking, there's something you said now. You say it took a long time for Biafrans to trust somebody. For me, that word they say, it is not totally true, but anyhow. That is the way I put it. That's why it's not easy for Biafrans to trust a leader. You need to prove it. And that is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has done, or what he did. So, our lines are now opened. Our direct line, as usual, is +1 213 328 6224. I repeat, +1 213 328 6224. Our WhatsApp and Signal line is +61 405 142 547. I repeat, +61 405 142 547. Once you call, please make sure to limit your questions to few minutes, maximum 2 minutes, so that we could take as much calls as possible, because people are lining up to call to ask mostly questions. Now I have a caller that has been there A caller on direct line. Caller on direct line. Please, can you hear me? Start by giving us your name, where you're calling from, and then your questions, if you may. Can you hear me?
Thank you, Dr. Jonathan. Thank you, our honorable guest lecturer, Dr. Ukachi Loy. My name remains Chukuma Biafra. God knows Biafra from the beginning. Let me interpret it in English. Please permit me. I have 4 messages before I have a question. 4 messages to 4 people that were big players in the genocide visited on Biafra. And my question will center around Aburi Accord. It's just one question. My first message is to General Yakubu Gowon. In one of the last videos that he made after the war, he said, and I quote, that he never knew that Ojukwu took Aburi conference serious. That was the head of state, in which involved killing of Biafra. He said he never knew Ojukwu took it serious. So in other words, he didn't take it serious. He's listening, but I tell him one thing: the grave will reward him. The second message is to Obasanjo. To Obasanjo today, this week, we are mourning the Biafran soldiers who were returning from Calabar, whom you ordered their summary execution. We are also mourning the Udi massacre, where you went to Biafra land in Udi and leveled a whole community. They are 50 years, 100 years, I don't think they are going to recover from it. That is for you. And for Babangida, you are on the wheelchair. The grave will pay you and will reward you and Obasanjo. Babangida had the longest transition period in history of that country called Nigeria. But he blew it up when he got 2-party system that would have stabilized that British business center. But he was advised, so he blew it up and threw Abiola away. And Nigeria started all over again. Today they have more than 100 political parties. Babangida, under you, Delegiwa was murdered. Just like Bola Ige was murdered under Obasanjo. The grave will reward you. Finally, on the kidnapper from Daura, the impostor, the pedophile, Buhari, this is a message for you. You were the best the North could offer. And we saw you, and you didn't disappoint yourself as a kidnapper of first generation. Those are my messages. My question now is, Aburi was a peace pathway to Nigerian crisis, and it failed. Was it a failure of the whole nation of Nigeria acting on ignorance or bankruptcy of Gowon leadership, or for the reason as a result of inferiority complex of Nigerians to 10 Downing Street that has continued to meddle and manipulate Nigerian pathway to peace? Thank you. That is my question.
There were Mazi. Dr. Okachi, I think you had him.
For all those comments, and I respect all you've said and the depth of feeling which you had. The Aburi goes straight to your question. Was it an inferiority complex? Okay. They say that Ojukwu, they accuse Ojukwu, well, they always find a reason to accuse somebody. They accuse Ojukwu of having what they call compulsive logic. Compulsive logic is that, look, this is A and this is B. If you put A and B together, you get a C. Okay? So let me unpack that. He had compulsive logic, and he came to Aburi to literally say to the rest of his colleagues, you were all there. My people are massacred. Yeah? Okay? And none of you did anything to stop it. How do you expect us now to live together? They accused him. Hassan said, Ojukwu, if you want to stay out, you stay out. If you want to come in, you come in. If you listen to the transcripts of the Abuja court, he went there to explain to them that he wasn't pleased with them at all. They said, they were saying, go on, we were talking about the Supreme Commander. Say, what Supreme who? Who's Supreme Commander? Go on. Since when? The Supreme Commander we know is Agui and is missing. How can Gowon be the Supreme Commander? They didn't like that. So he then said that, so that is why he has his agenda. He brought the agenda which they discussed in Abuja. So they're saying if he was intellectual inferiority complex or whatever. Sure, he went to Oxford, but he used, one of the first few leaders I've seen who used his knowledge to defend his people without having to kill anybody in the conference table. Remember, they were all co-chairmen and all this conferee, all the people who came for that conference, they are all co-chairmen. They weren't somebody who's ahead of the other. So the inferiority complex is their own portion. Ojukwu did not go there to have inferiority complex. He go there to discuss what was happening to his people. A minimum of 30,000 have been slaughtered. Thousands more were maimed, injured, eye gouged out, properties abandoned, everything. And you think we're going there to have picnic. Okay? So they must have misunderstood the seriousness of the situation. Number one, you killed all the Biafran soldiers in the army. You blew a bugle, everybody comes out for a parade. You point at Iba, you stabbed and killed them. Yeah? So, outside the eastern region, if you're in the army, you're not safe. So now how is it that you're the commander, supreme commander of the Nigerian army? So which army are we talking about? Is it the army of the northerners or the army that is left of what is left of the east? So Ojukwu say, look, the best way, because you can't expect an Igbo officer or soldier to be in the same camp, the same canteen, in the same trench as a northern soldier. Because this is January. They were being killed from July 29th until October. Non-stop killing. So you're not safe. You now want me to come back and we're now all one country, one people, let's clap hands and go on, you're the commander in general or whatever you want to call yourself. So he said to them, the best way forward is that if I'm from the east, I stay in the east, in my own part of the world, and be a soldier in the east, controlling an area called area command, which I'm responsible for. So that way, I don't have to come to the north and get killed, or go to the west and get killed. That makes sense. That's compulsive logic. The second one was, so if you sort out the army, who is then going to be in charge of the country? Oh, Gowon says he's the supreme commander. No, sir. Igbo or the Ojukwu has to have a say and input on what happens to his people from now on. So therefore, we're going to have a supreme military council. Gowon is a member. In fact, he was asked to be the chairman of that supreme military council. So Ojukwu will be a member, Ejo will be another, Adebayo will be another, and then Hassan will be another. The four people from the four regions. They need to have a say whatever policy you're going to impose on the country. And Gowon, you're going to be the chairman. Oh, no. I can't be the tutelar head. I can't just rubber stamp whatever you guys decided. No, it's not what they decided. What they decided was that if you have any situation, you need to bring it to the table and we discuss it. You've got to show it to all the regions. And you're going to have their concurrence and the agreement. Otherwise, you impose your will on one region. And that is what caused the war, because they reneged on this important decision. So that Gowon says, from now on, the East are going to declare a state of emergency. I only take myself, the Northern, the Western, and so on. If they all agree, then Ojukwu, you have to lump and take it. Okay, so Ojukwu said, no, this is not going to work. And Aburi will stand. So it's not a case of inferiority complex. It's the deliberate ploy to derail what would have worked. All right. So the next thing about Aburi, about complex inferiority complex. Why is it that you cannot compensate those members who are working for the federal government? They're in the rail, telephone, whatever, the civil servants, for example. They haven't been paid since you chased them out of the north. How do you expect them to feed their family, take their children to school, and so on and so forth? That was decided that you should have a finance team look into how you're going to compensate them. If they find another job in the East, fine, you don't need to pay them. But if they haven't, you should pay them money. This was agreed. And then they turn around and say, oh, finance committee, we're no longer going to meet and talk about it. So you understand? So it's not a case of inferiority complex, it's a case of deliberate, obfuscation of what happened, what was discussed in Naburi. So much so is that, as Ojukwu said, it's as though when they turn everything down, it's as though Gowon didn't turn up at the Naburi, because the minutes are different from what he's saying that was discussed. And that was why Ojukwu, that's why they may have misunderstood the seriousness of Aburi Accord, and they turned it into discord. And that's why Nigeria has not recovered since then. I don't know, my brother, if I've answered your question. I'm going to keep it short. So let's leave it as that for the time being. Thank you very much.
There were Mazi. Caller on, what's up? Welcome to the program. Can you hear me? Caller on WhatsApp, please.
Yes, I can hear you very clear, Mazi.
There were Mazi. Please go on.
Thank you very much. I greet you, Mazi Zukati. This is Mazi Aganeku, calling from Italy. My question is, first of all, I want to do an announcement because I am working as a coordinator of Milano. Our 30th May, we hold in Milano, Italy this year. We want all IPOB that resided in Italy, all Biafrans, all Igbo, all Biafra, Eastern region, together in Milano on the 30th May, Milano Central train station at the